Do you think it's okay for President Trump to ask China to launch an investigation of Joe Biden and Hunter Biden?
I don't know if that's a real request or him just needling the press, knowing that you guys were going to get outraged by it. He's pretty good at getting everybody fired up, and he's been doing that for a while. And the media responded right on task.
But you're one of the loudest critics of China and its human rights abuses. I mean, is it okay for him to ask to say that?
I don't think it's a real request. I think he did it to gig you guys. I think he did it to provoke you to ask me and others and get outraged by it. Like I said, I mean, he plays it like a violin and everybody falls right into it. But that's not a real request.
Oh, well, I guess this is all a false alarm then. Trump didn't try to secretly conspire with foreign countries because he actually wanted them to interfere in 2020. He was just trying to rile up the press. Someone should tell Nancy Pelosi that we don't actually have to impeach after all, because we were just seeing a bit from Trump's latest comedy set. This is Marco Rubio with the latest Republican defense of Trump's brazen, out-in-the-open attempts to conspire with foreign governments to interfere in the next election. And if it seems like the "it was just a joke" excuse falls especially flat, that's because it's only the latest in a string of worthless attempts to justify Trump's crimes. And Rubio knows this. Look at his face during his entire statement. This is what losing your dignity in real time looks like. To be clear, as if this actually needs to be said, you can't just absolve Trump of conspiring with a number of foreign governments by claiming that he wasn't actually trying to conspire, that he was just trying to rile up the press. The same way a bank robber caught in the act can't say he was just trying to rile up the tellers. But following Rubio's logic, what's Trump's excuse when he did the exact same thing with Ukraine? The only reason we knew about it was because of a whistleblower complaint. A complaint, mind you, that the White House tried to bury so that no one would see it. Or did Trump know all along that it would eventually come out, and it was just one long comedy gag? Just like he knew all along that his private conversation with Australian Prime Minister Scott Morrison requesting help discrediting the Mueller probe would come out, and his private conversation with UK Prime Minister Boris Johnson requesting the same thing. Clearly, Trump wasn't doing this as part of a grand conspiracy to punk the media. He was doing it to hurt his political opponents. He did it to harm Joe Biden and undermine the Mueller investigation. He withheld nearly $400 million in American taxpayer-funded military assistance to extort promises of dirt on Democrats. He committed impeachable offenses, and Rubio knows this, which is why his desperate attempts to carry water for Trump are especially pathetic. And by the way, we've heard the "just a joke" excuse before, like when Trump called former Secretary of State Rex Tillerson a moron and challenged him to an IQ test.
He wasn't questioning the Secretary of State's intelligence. Well, he made a joke. Maybe you guys should get a sense of humor and try it sometime.
Or when Trump called Democrats who didn't stand and applaud for his State of the Union un-American and treasonous.
Can you say, for the sake of the future, that you agree with Senator Flake on that treason or treasonous is not a punchline, is not a joking matter?
Look, honestly, I'm not going to respond directly to Senator Flake's comments. I don't really care what Senator Flake has to say. I don't think his constituents do either, and I think that's why his numbers are in the tank. The president was clearly joking with his comments.
Or when Trump suggested police brutality.
When the president made his speech to police officers on Friday, almost within minutes, statements came from police chiefs across the country criticizing his remarks that seemed to endorse the use of force by police in certain arrests. Was the president joking when he said this, or did he check his remarks out with the International Association of Police Chiefs, or maybe the Attorney General?
I believe he was making a joke at the time.
Or the funniest joke when Trump suggested Russia hack Hillary Clinton's emails on national television.
Russia, if you're listening, I hope you're able to find the 30,000 emails that are missing. I think you will probably be rewarded mightily by our press.
And we laughed and laughed. And then that night, Russia attempted for hours to hack email accounts used by Clinton's personal office and targeted 76 email addresses at the domain for the Clinton campaign, according to a 29-page indictment against 12 Russian intelligence operatives by the DOJ. Funny. So Rubio and the rest of the GOP can continue to conjure up whatever excuses they can, from their bogus claim about Joe Biden's corruption, to pretending that the EU doesn't pay enough for Ukraine's protection, to suggesting that Adam Schiff acted improperly by telling the whistleblower to hire counsel and file a complaint with the Intel Community Inspector General, to suggesting that the whistleblower's complaint was hearsay, to complaints about the supposed deep state, to now that it was all just one hilarious joke. But clearly, nothing is sticking. And that's because they're trying to defend the indefensible and rendering themselves complicit in the process.